The machine had awakened, its power undeniable. But with its activation came a sense of foreboding, as if the very air around them had grown heavier, filled with unspoken threats. The vision was a glimpse into a world of darkness, a place where light had been extinguished and shadows reigned supreme. The colonists saw a future that could become their own if they were not careful. The machine's true purpose had been revealed, and it was not the key to knowledge they had hoped for. Instead, it was a harbinger of doom, a device meant to control and contain the very forces they had glimpsed in the vision. The decision to shut down the machine was not easy, but the risks of leaving it active were too great. The colonists knew that they had to act quickly before the situation spiraled out of control. The machine resisted their efforts to shut it down, its power surging unpredictably. Every second that passed brought them closer to a potential disaster, and the colonists could feel the weight of their actions pressing down on them. The machine fought back, unleashing its power in a desperate attempt to maintain control. The colonists were left reeling, their bodies bruised and battered, but their resolve unbroken. The shadows had come to life, brought forth by the machine's activation. The colonists knew that they were now facing an enemy that was both ancient and powerful, one that could not be easily defeated. The battle was fierce and desperate, a struggle for survival against an enemy that seemed to be made of darkness itself. The colonists fought with everything they had, knowing that there was no other choice. The plan was risky, but it was the only option they had left. The colonists knew that they had to destroy the machine before the shadows overwhelmed them, even if it meant sacrificing everything. The overload sequence had been initiated, and the colonists knew that they were racing against time. The machine's power grew with each passing second, and the shadows became more aggressive, sensing the impending threat. The colonists fought with everything they had, knowing that this was their last chance to survive. The shadows were relentless, but so too was their will to live. The explosion was a cataclysmic event, the machine's power unleashed in a final, devastating burst. The shadows were destroyed, their connection to the machine severed, but the cost of victory was high. The battle was over, but the victory was bittersweet. The colonists had survived, but the cost had been great, and the ruins of the machine were a stark reminder of the dangers they had faced. The explosion had not just destroyed the machine, it had torn a hole in the very fabric of reality. The colonists knew that they had unleashed something far more dangerous than the shadows, something that could threaten the very existence of their world. Galvin knew that the rift was a sign of something far worse than the shadows. It was a gateway to the unknown, and the colonists had no way of knowing what might come through if they did not act quickly. The plan to seal the rift was a race against time. The colonists knew that if they failed, the consequences could be catastrophic, not just for their world, but for the universe itself. The device worked as intended, its energy wrapping around the rift like a net, slowly closing it. The colonists watched with bated breath, praying that they had finally found a way to end the nightmare. The rift was sealed, and the immediate danger had passed. But the colonists knew that their actions had far-reaching consequences, and the scar left by the rift was a reminder of the thin line between survival and destruction. The battle had been won, but the journey was far from over. The colonists knew that they had faced darkness and emerged stronger, but the future still held many uncertainties. Together, they would face whatever came next. The night sky held many secrets, and the flare of the star was a reminder that the colonists were not alone in the universe. The darkness they had faced was just the beginning, and the true test of their strength was yet to come.